A son was thousands of miles away when his father died just a few weeks ago in our area, and he has since learned that a kind worker at a gas station was there to comfort his father in those final moments.
KCBD News Channel 11's Brittany Michelson joins us from Post with that story. Brittany?
Well, Karen and Abner, we're here in the Cefco gas station, just on the outskirts of Post, where the kindness of strangers was on full display just a few weeks ago. Amanda Hare was here working as a customer service representative. She says she wasn't scheduled to work that morning, but by divine intervention, she was here. That's when Stephen McCarter was traveling through town with his wife. They say to begin a new life, a new chapter here in West Texas. But that's when here inside the store, he collapsed. A man jumped into action, beginning CPR, and Amanda laid down beside him, held his hand, and prayed over him in those final moments.
And I was praying with him, I had his hand, and every time I kept saying Jesus, he would jerk his hand up. And we were still trying to get him to breathe.
Stephen's wife and his son, Bo, came back later to come into the store and to thank Amanda for all she did in those final moments.
But to know that the family is so close-knit and that they are content with how he passed, that I just believe in my heart that it was God's will, you know.
Now she says they have a bond that she'll never forget, and she knows that there are many connections now between their families that show she was supposed to be here that morning. We'll hear more about that tonight at 10. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Brittany. We'll look forward to that.